This video is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc. If you're looking for cards in the US, look no further as you can use the promo code MTGMudsta to get you 5% off anything on the site. Or if you're in Canada like me, you can use the same promo code at Multizone to get 10% off your orders of singles. If cards aren't what you're looking for, Original Magic Art has playmats, tokens, and sweet art that you can use that same promo code to help you get 5% off your order there. And if you just want to help out the channel, you can always consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month and join the generic Goblin Gang. Hey gang, and welcome back. Today's game finds us back at Kessel Run Games with Raph playing Sephara. He keeps 3 planes, Selfless Spirit, Topplegeist, Loyal Pegasus, and a Rustwing Falcon. New to the channel is Matt playing Satoru, keeping Tenuka Abandoned Mind, a Swamp, Nezumi Blade Blesser, Wavebreaker Hippocamp, Choked Estuary, Moon Circuit Hacker, and a Mausoleum Warder. Dawn is rocking the Minotaurs with Sethron, keeping 2 Swamps, 2 Mountains, Grave Shifter, Ambition's Cost, and Impact Tremors. New Shane is sleeved up Aesi, keeping a Lotus Cobra, Island, Arbor Elf, Canopy Baloth, Factor Fiction, Command Tower, and Botanical Sanctum. Matt wins the die roll and starts us off. He plays a Choked Estuary, passing. Dom has a Mountain for turn and passes. Shane plays a Botanical Sanctum and casts an Arbor Elf. Raph plays a Plains and casts a Battlefield Raptor. Matt plays a Swamp and casts Mausoleum Warder, passing turn. Dom has a Mountain for turn again and plays Impact Tremors. New Shane plays a Command Tower and then casts Lotus Cobra. Raph plays a Plains and casts Loyal Pegasus and then Rustwing Falcon. He then swings the Raptor at Dom, who takes the hit. Matt has an Island for turn and swings the Geist at Dom as well. Before damage is dealt, he ninjutsus out a Silver for Master and hits for 2 instead. He then recasts the Wanderer in his second main phase and passes turn. Dom just plays a Swamp and passes. New Shane plays an Island and makes a mana with the Cobra and casts Factor Fiction. He has Raph splitting the piles, and New Shane takes the one with Acidic Slime, Oran Reef the Vastwood, and Drag a Tree Speaker. He then swings at Dom with the Cobra for 2 and passes. Raph plays a Plains and casts a Selfless Spirit, and then uses Sephara's alternate casting cost by tapping 4 white creatures and paying 1 white to cast her, and passes. Matt plays Takenuma Abandoned Minds as his land for turn and moves to combat. He swings the Wanderer at New Shane, who can't block, and Matt ninjutsus at a Moon Circuit Hacker. He then draws as it connects, and replays the Wanderer before passing. Dom just plays a Mountain and casts Fire Diamond. New Shane plays an Oran Reef the Vastwood and casts a Drag a Tree Speaker. Once it's out, he levels it up by 1 level. Raph plays a Plains for turn and moves to combat, swinging his Commander at Matt and the Loyal Pegasus at New Shane. Shane takes the hit, and Matt chumps with the Wanderer. Raph gains 7 life from lifelink and passes back to Matt. Matt casts his Commander in his main phase, Satoru Umezawa, and then channels a Mnemonic Sphere to draw a card. He then plays a land for turn and swings the Moon Circuit Hacker at Dom, who takes the hit, and Matt gets to loot. Dom plays a Swamp for turn and pays 5 to cast Sethron, Hurlon General. Entering the battlefield causes Sethron to make a 2/3 Minotaur, and this has Impact Tremors dealing 2 damage to each of his opponents. He then casts a Changeling Outcast, which makes another Minotaur and deals 2 more again to his opponents. With nothing else, Dom passes. New Shane casts his Commander, Aesi Tyrant of Gyre Strait, and plays a land for turn. This draws him a card and makes him a green mana from the Lotus Cobra. He then plays a Myriad Landscape for turn, which comes in tapped, making another green, and draws another card. With nothing else, he passes turn. Raph plays a Rousing of Souls, which as a result of the spell resolving, has Raph making 2 creatures each, and each player draws the revealed cards. Moving to combat, he swings his Commander at Dom for 7, and the Loyal Pegasus at Matt for 2. He gains 7 life, and then passes to Matt. Matt taps out in his main phase for Kotose the Silent Spider. Matt chooses Factor Fiction, looking at New Shane's hand, and exiles the spell. Dom pays 4 and casts Ambition's Call. losing some life to draw some cards. He then plays a land for turn, and pays 2 to cast Diabolic Intent, sacrificing a Minotaur and searching his library for a card. Moving to combat, he swings the Changeling at Raph, who takes the 1. Nushane plays a land for turn, making a green and drawing a card, and then casts Elvish Reclaimer. He then cracks the Myriad Landscape, going to find 2 forests, and drawing 2 more cards, and making 2 more mana. This allows him to help cast Tatyova Benthic Druid, and then a Dungrove Elder. Raph plays a land for turn, and casts Relic Seeker. Moving to combat, he swings his commander at Nushane, and the Loyal Pegasus at Dom, and they both take the hits, with Raph once more gaining 7 life. Matt plays Okiba Reckoner's Raid, and it has each of his opponents losing a life and him gaining a life. He then casts Factor Fiction, previously exiled, and chooses Dom to split the piles. Dom splits the piles of 3 and 2, and Matt takes the pile of 2. Dom casts a Deathbellow Warcry, and searches his library for 4 Minotaurs. He finds a Ragemonger, Fanatic of Mogus, Kragma Warcaller, and Rageblood Shaman. They come in, and the Impact Tremor deals 4 to everyone, and the Fanatic of Mogus deals another 8 to each opponent. Moving to combat, Dom swings the Changeling Outcast and 5 Minotaur tokens at Raph, who blocks in such a way to kill 1 Minotaur and put a body in front of each other one, but still takes a total of 22 damage. Nushane plays a Fabled Passage as his land for turn, and draws 2 and gains a life, and floats a mana with the Lotus Cobra. He then cracks it to go and find an island, drawing 2 more and gaining another life and another mana. He's able to cast Kadama's Reach to find 2 basics, 1 into play and 1 to hand, which once more draws him 2 cards, gains him another life, and makes him another mana. He then casts a Retreat to Kazandu, and plays a Terramorphic Expanse, this time gaining 3 life and drawing 2 cards again, and making a mana. He cracks the Expanse to go and find another land, gaining 3 more life, and drawing 2 more cards, and making another mana. Once that's all done, he casts Scourge of the Fleet, which bounces the majority of his opponent's boards as their toughness is equal to or less than 4 islands that Nushane controls. Moving to combat, Aesi and the Elder go at Raphael, while the Reclaimer goes at Dom. The players then take their respective damage, and in his second main phase, Nushane untaps a forest with the Arbor Elf to help cast Compulsive Research, drawing 3 and then discarding a land and passing. Raph plays a Plains for turn, and swings his commander at Dom for another 7, gaining another 7. He then recasts Battalion of Flyers and passes to Matt. Matt moves his Saga to Chapter 2, draining the table for 1 each and gaining 1. He then casts a Silver Fur Master, pumping his team, and swings Kotoso at Dom, who cannot block. Instead though, he ninjutsus out a Desolation Twin, which is enough damage to take out Dom. He then ends his turn by casting a Moon Circuit Hacker and passing a Nushane. Nushane casts a Rampaging Balos and plays an Evolving Wilds. This draws him 2 cards, gains him 3 life, and makes him a Beast token, not to mention a mana. Cracking it for a land, he repeats the process once more. He then casts Thromokrakus, and casts Explore, drawing a card, and getting to play an additional land for turn. And then his 3rd land for turn, drawing 2, gaining 3, and making another beast. He swings the Scourge and Elder at Raph, and the Reclaimer at Matt. Raph blocks enough to take out the Elder and kill it, and chumps the Scourge with the Selfless Spirit. Matt just takes the hit. In his second main phase, Nushane casts Tempt with Discovery, which has both players being tempted, and Nushane goes to find 3 lands, and his opponents each go and get 1. Nushane grabs Reliquary Tower, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, and a 3rd land. This also has him drawing 6 cards and gaining 9 life. And then casts a Murkfiend Liege and passes turn. Raph untaps and Nushane untaps his creatures with him. Raph then recasts the Relic Seeker and swings his commander at Nushane, who takes the hit for 8. Matt goes to Chapter 3 on his saga and flips it onto its creature side. He then casts Kaido Suzuki and down ticks them, making a ninja token. He then casts a Wavebreaker Hippocamp and passes to Nushane. Nushane casts a Splendid Reclamation in his main phase, which returns all the lands from his graveyard. He He's been discarding a lot of them, so he brings back 11 lands, making 11 beast tokens, gaining 33 life, and making 11 mana. He then plays a land for turn, and makes another mana, gains 3 more life, and another beast token. He then casts an ambush commander, making all of his forests into a 1/1 green elf creature, and plays another island, making another beast, gaining more life, and gaining more mana. Moving to combat, he swings Stromokrakus, the Rampaging Baloth, the 6 beasts that can attack, and 5 2/2 forest elf creature lands at Raph, and everything else at Matt. Before blocks, Raph casts Swords to Plowshares to take out Yavimaya, which stops his non-forest lands from being creatures. And Matt then casts Hellish Rebuke. Moving to blocks, Raph thinks about how he wants to block, and ends up doing it in such a way that he only takes 14, keeping most of his creatures because they're flying and have indestructible thanks to Sephara. Matt blocks Aesi, the Elvish Reclaimer, and Tatyova, and the Scourge of Fleets, but still takes 10 damage from the forest cards that get through. This has New Shane losing 10 life and sacrificing the lands that dealt combat damage, and sadly for him, Aesi is also taken out. Raph plays a Plains for turn and swings his commander at New Shane, taking him out from commander damage. He's also swinging the Relic Seeker at Matt, and Matt chooses not to block. This has the Relic Seeker becoming renowned, putting a +1/+1 counter onto it and letting Raph go and find Mask of Memories. He then casts the mask and equips it to Sephara and passes to Matt. Matt upticks Saito and moves to combat. He swings the unblockable ninja token at Raph and ninjutsus out Kotose instead. This triggers her, exiling the Swords to Plowshares, which he then casts and uses on Sephara, gaining Raph 8 life. The ninja then connects, and in Matt's second main phase, he casts a Biting Palm Ninja and then Tribute to Hirobi, making Raph a rat token as it goes to Chapter 1. Raph equips the Mask of Memories to the Loyal Pegasus and moves to combat, swinging the rat token and Pegasus at Matt. Matt jumps the rat token but still takes 2. Raph then recasts his commander in his second main phase and casts Divine Reckoning, choosing his commander, and destroys all of Matt's creatures but 1, and with that being said, Matt realizes he's pretty much done for and scoops it up to Raph. Game review time. So, with everyone sitting down, I would not have put money on Raph being the winner, especially if I'd seen his opening hand of 1-drop 1/1 flyers. I think the fact that he was able to cast Sephara so early, plus the fact that she has built-in lifelink, really helped him out. Dom's Sethron deck did a whole lot of nothing until it did a whole lot of something. I think they may have missed a trigger or a round of 4 damage, which I'm not entirely sure, but it could have helped him win that game instead of lose. Matt's Satoru Umezawa deck was a lot more ninjutsu focused than mine was. Mine was more focused on the idea of being able to put out big creatures for very cheap, whereas he seemed to be much more focused on using ninjutsu and having some big beaters, and getting some value from his commander. I just want to preface by saying that I like New Shane, but I really don't like Simic commanders. I find that they're very, 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 very linear, in the sense that typically all they care about is giving you extra land drops, and those land drops give you draw. I think the last 2 Simic commanders that I was genuinely interested in were Volo and Lonus, because they did something different. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, Cool Stuff Inc., Multizone, Original Magic Art, and Alter Sleeves. But it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.